Okay, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to this information webinar on the Emerging Leader Program. My name is Steve Sloan, and I'm the head of programs here at Claw Social Leadership. Also joined by my colleague Nina, who's our head of marketing and communications. I'm going to share my screen and then we'll get started running you through some of the information about the program, um, while Nina continues to let people who are still flying through the door, which is great. Okay. So, as far as an agenda for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be running through a bit about Claw Social Leadership, who we are, what we're about, what we think about social leadership. Going to talk to you mainly about the Emerging Leader Program and what you can expect there. We've also got several other program offers that I'm going to tell you about in short. And then, of course, at the end of the session, if you're still kind of have any questions that I haven't answered throughout the information in these slides, we'll have some time to do that. So any questions that you might have, scribble them down in front of you, pop them in the chat, and we'll get to them at the end. So I'm going to start you off here with our beliefs. We have four key beliefs that kind of run throughout all of our programs, and something we kind of come back to in all of our programs as well. And they really guide our work. So the first one is we believe that leadership development is a lifelong journey. We don't kind of subscribe to this view that leadership development is a kind of tick box exercise. You do a leadership program for 5, 6 months and then that's done. We really see this as a stepping stone for you, to kind of continue the leadership development journey in your own time. And it really is like any other skill. It can take a lifetime to master. The landscape that we're operating in, leadership itself, frameworks, theories, kind of new things coming out every month, every year. So something that is dynamic and very changing. Second belief of ours is that we believe everybody is a leader. We work with leaders across the country, working for all different types of organizations. And big part of our programs really are helping leaders understand that they are a leader. We kind of experience a lot of leaders that have imposter phenomenon, and our programs really are designed and geared to helping people see themselves as a leader and recognize that they are a leader, no matter where they sit in an organization. Thirdly, we believe that good leadership is essential for social change. With some massive social challenges confronting us on a community level, on a national level, and on a global level as well, it's really important that we have leaders who are kind of well versed and skilled in social leadership, a lot of the frameworks and theories, and also good leadership practice to be able to confront some of these challenges individually, and as organizations as well. The fourth belief of ours there is that leaders grow leaders. This is the one that I see as being the most magical one as on all of our programs, and is something that a lot of alumni will speak to on our programs, is that the magic really is in the cohort that you'll be a part of. So being a part of sort of 20 to 25 other emerging leaders on your program, going through that journey with each other over 7, 8 months, all going through a similar experience on the program, but also relating to each other, and your work outside of the program as well, all being in very similar positions, kind of confronting similar challenges, and also having very similar leadership goals and ambitions as well. So those are our four beliefs, that we have here at Claw Social Leadership. Now, to tell you a bit about the program itself, we've got a bit of a content map here to kind of walk you through the components that you can expect to be diving into on the program. So to start with, it is a 7-month program. It runs from October 2026. So that's this year, and will be concluding in May 2027, if you can think that far ahead. It's also worth mentioning that this program is accredited and approved by the Institute of Leadership. That means that once you complete the program, you will gain 1 year's free access to their e-learning platform where you can continue your development journey. They have a lot of e-learning tools and things and resources available to you there that you can take advantage of. You'll also receive post-nominals, so that just means letters coming after your name. And this Emerging Leader Program is associate level. So you'll have Associate Institute of Leadership, AIOL, after your name. You'll be able to pop on LinkedIn, if you're into that sort of thing. Now, to walk you through the components On the Emerging Leader program, it is mostly an online program, but we do have two in-person components, which are the celebration session, which you can see at the end of our map there, and then the leadership retreat, which is in person as well. Everything else happens online. So we kick things off with an online session at the start of the program called our welcome session. This is an hour long to kind of onboard you onto the program, to meet each other, to meet the Claw Social Leadership team, to meet your program facilitator, who will be kind of taking you through this journey on the program. Once you've then done that, you'll dive into our Discover program, which is a kind of 4-week introduction to social leadership. And that dives into one of our key models, which is the leadership development model. And you'll be kind of going through some self-guided e-learning there. And they'll be complemented by 2 online workshops to help you reflect and consolidate on some of the learning that you've been doing independently. Then throughout the program, you have action learning sets. If you haven't heard of action learning sets before, they're a fantastic component which are best described as peer coaching. So you'll work in small groups of sort of 6 to 8 people, which will be led by an action learning facilitator, and you'll kind of, through the power of open questioning, help individuals unlock answers to quite knotty and complex challenges that they're bringing to the group. It's a fantastic component. It's something that kind of all of our alumni and participants really enjoy, and is something that people take forward after the program as well and continue to self-facilitate. We then have online learning modules. So similar to Discover, we give you some self-guided e-learning to do in your own time. That will take you through 6 of our social leadership capabilities. They will then be complemented by peer learning circles, which are kind of an hour and a half online sessions, which will supplement that learning that you've been doing on the e-learning platform. We will then have a leadership retreat, which kind of happens around 2 months after the program started, nice and early in the program. And that takes place in the Midlands in Leamington Spa across 2 days and 1 night. During that leadership retreat, it will be an excellent opportunity for you to meet the rest of the people on your program in person, spend time together, deepen those connections, but also engage in a fantastic component called Luminous Spark. Luminous Spark is psychometric profiling tool. Sometimes when I say psychometric profiling tool, it can send some alarm bells ringing in people's heads for them. But this one is slightly different to profiling tools you might have heard of before, like Myers-Briggs, where it's very good at putting you into a box and kind of saying, that's you, you're done there. You've got some letters assigned to you and you're that personality. Luminous Spark views people's personalities on a bit more of a spectrum. And it can chop and change and be dynamic. It also looks at kind of your personality and how that comes out when you're under stress or whether in your sort of normal state as well. It's an excellent component. So you'll be doing that on day 1 of the leadership retreat. And then on day 2, we'll be looking a bit more at leading change. So we'll be bringing in an external facilitator to kind of facilitate a morning on leading change. And then in and around the retreat as well, outside of these 2 main sessions, the Luminous Spark and the Leading Change workshop, there's lots of reflection, which is led by your program facilitator to help you kind of reflect on and consolidate some of the learning that you've been doing in these 2 modules, these 2 components. But also it's just a really nice opportunity to just unplug and retreat as well. So it's an excellent location to be able to just unwind for a bit as well from the day to day. Throughout the program, you'll have access to 3 1-hour coaching sessions as well with a professional coach. All of our coaches are very experienced working with social leaders. A lot of them have been social leaders themselves in a previous life. So very experienced kind of coaching individuals who are coming from the charity sector. They understand the challenges, and they're very accustomed to working with these sorts of leaders. Also on the program, we have 3-hour sessions, which we call learning sessions. These come in a variety of themes. So we have 3 different themes. The first one is know yourself, be yourself, look after yourself. That's part of our leadership development model. And that will kind of take you through some very initial thinking and introduction to that model that's going to guide you through the program. We also then have a learning session on well-being. And then we also have a session on systems as well, so systems thinking. And then we'll be rounding off the program in May 2027 with a celebration session which will take place in London in person. So that is quite a lengthy run through of our emerging leader program. There might be a few questions kind of boiling up for people, which we'll be able to ask at the end of the session. Um, we're fortunate today to be joined by Jamie, who is an alumni from our Emerging Leader program. And Jamie's going to talk to you a bit about his experience on the Emerging Leader program, and of course, any advice he might have for you as well. So, Jamie, thanks for joining us. I'm going to pass over to you now.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Um, it's it was weird coming onto the program today and hearing you go through what you're going to be up to, and hearing all about the residential, the action learning sets. Um, I finished the course back in May, and the the whole course was brilliant. I can't fault it in any way. What was really good was the residential. So Steve was just mentioning that, and it was a really good it was a really good place to connect with everybody on your course. It was because everything is online. Having that space in person was really valuable, especially going forward throughout the rest of the course. We were able to connect a lot more online because we'd met at that residential. But the residential was great in other aspects as well because we did the Luminous Spark, and it was really important for me to do that because it helped to see how I was as a leader, what traits I have as a leader, and how, although some aspects I thought were quite negative just from my own thought process of it, I kind of got a lot from it because it was I was able to see that them negatives can actually be positives, especially as a leader. Um, but we also heard from different professionals coming in, and we did a number of different sort of group sessions where we learned different elements of being a leader, and we were able to connect as other leaders, and we all sort of discussed how how we all may have different traits, but how we can all sort of sort of develop as in our own leadership journey. Um, but the the course was just brilliant. The residential was great, and then just moving on to the action learning sets, which were also I got a lot out of. So the action learning sets, if you've never done them before, you will bring a current concern, something you want to discuss, and you'll discuss it with the group, and you'll have a coach there that's sort of supporting the sort of questioning that you're doing, and it helps you sort of without you sort of say the solution by answering the questions that your peers will give, which is a great way of sort of learning how to sort of overcome something, especially the current concern that you're going through within your team, within the workplace. Um, but you're able to sort of say it without saying it, I think is the best way to put it. And, you'll have a number of them different action learning sets. So you'll be able to sort of bring a concern, but you'll also be able to support others through their concerns by asking questions to help them sort of resolve what they are currently going through. Um, and then among some of the other things that Steve was just acknowledging, the sort of homework elements that you get. Sometimes I worry about when you have these courses, I worry about will it just be end the session and then you're just waiting for the next session. Whereas what I got from the program that I was on, I was able to sort of do things in between. So I could sort of carve out my own time to be able to read things, to do activities, sort of develop my own leadership in between sessions as well, which was really beneficial. So, if I had one piece of advice, is it's make sure you engage in the reading, make sure you engage in the e-learning platform, um, because there's lots of little bits of information that you take from them readings and you can apply to your teams, especially to help them develop your yeah. I don't think, is there anything else, Steve, that you want to ask me to help
No, I
give
think
the group a
that's been great, Jamie, but I think folks probably might have some questions for you. Um, yeah, Jamie, we're happy to answer any questions after I've just done a few more slides. So if you've got anything, yeah, just note it down. We'll ask him then. But Jamie, thanks so much for sharing your experience with us. Okay, as promised, just a few more slides, just to run you through the application criteria. So, who is it for? Um, the programs really are for people working for all sorts of different kinds of organizations. Of course, organizations working for social purpose, whether your organization is a charity, a social enterprise, a CIC. Um, you're all very much welcome. If you feel like your organization isn't captured in any of those sort of legal structures there, you're very welcome to get in touch with us separately and we can kind of talk through um, what sort of organization or situation you're in at the moment. We also have individuals come on the program who are freelancers as well, if you're kind of permanent, full-time, part-time as well. It's worth noting we do have a bursary place available on this program. This is for individuals from Black or racially minoritized backgrounds working for small and medium-sized organizations. So that's organizations with an annual income of less than £1 million. There is on our application form, the way you kind of opt in for that is just you kind of say yes or no when you want to opt in for the bursary. There are no other steps, so it's all the same application. And similarly, any questions with regards to that piece of application criteria and that bursary, do ask any questions or get in touch with us separately. We're very happy to have a conversation about it. Now, deadlines, we do have an early bird application deadline. This will give you a reduced fee to join the program. That is ending on Friday, the 17th of July, for £1,995. Then we'll have our full application deadline at the full price on Friday, the 31st of July, 2,595. All the applications are moderated on a rolling basis, except if you've applied for a bursary for kind of equity reasons, we'll assess all of those once applications have fully closed. If if you're thinking the emerging leader is quite a lot more than you'll be able to manage with your time and capacity, we do have some other offers available, which are a bit shorter. We do have our management fundamentals program and a Discover program as well. I'm just noticing the dates there are incorrect. The prices are the same. The management fundamentals program is starting in September. I believe it's the 21st of September. The Discover program is taking place in November. Both of those as well are Institute of Leadership accredited, so all of the same benefits that I told you about in the Immersion Leader program are available on both of these programs as well. So that's 1 year's access to the e-learning platform and post-nominals as well. We do also have a Find a Coach offer on our website where you'll be able to connect directly with coaches, our quite massive pool of coaches. You'll be able to filter based on coaches' expertise and experience, things that you might be looking for from a coach. So if you'd like to kind of take up some coaching, that is available to you as well. Big thank you from me. Thanks for your attention this far. I know it's a lot of information, which is why we're going to jump into questions. And if anyone's got any question marks or questions bubbling up, feel free to jump in and ask anything for myself or for Jamie.
Hello. Sorry.
Oh, is someone else?
Oh, I didn't see who was first there. Cora, would you like to go first?
Sure, yeah. Just the management fundamentals. Could you say a little bit more about that one as well, or is that
Of
appropriate?
course.
Is that okay?
Absolutely. So the Management Fundamentals is a 7 week long program. There are 5 different online modules, and it's kind of supplemented by 4 online workshops. It's a bit less in the kind of leadership lens, like most of our programs, and leans a bit more into management. So that's management of yourself and your productivity, but also management of teams as well. So we look at healthy communication, your productivity, ways of working. Um, so that's, yeah, there's a bit more of a shorter program, and it's fully online as well.
Okay. I just had one more question. Just in terms of the types of organizations that everyone might work in, obviously, I'm sure they'll
Mhm.
be very diverse and differing and similar in lots of different ways. How does the program address that, address the sort of specificities of the particular industry or organization that you are working in, or the field that you're working in?
If you're coming from quite a specific subsector, compared,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think there are individuals on programs that come from all sorts of different subsectors. And I know Jamie can probably would agree with this, but I think something that brings people together is that they're all working in the charity sector. Um, whilst there might be differences between the subsectors, there are lots of commonalities that bring, organizations together, at a sort of sector level as well. Yeah. Jamie, is there sort of anything you'd add to that on your experience in the program?
Um, yes, I think there was a few, we all come from the same sector but different organizations. But what you come to notice is you come to notice that you all share the same sort of issues, and you're all on the same leadership journey. And you'll notice when you're going through like the action learning sets, for instance, is that you go, oh yeah, I have that issue as well. And you can sort of turn what you're discussing there into your own solution to
Mhm.
something. So you kind of connect on that front as well.
Thanks. Anything else from you, Cora?
No, not for now. Thank you.
Lovely. Yes. Viole? I'm saying the name correctly.
So, Violet.
Violet.
So just a question in terms of assessment. Is there an assessment involved or?
So there's no formal assessment for the program. So while you're going through it, there's no assignments, there's no homework to complete. There's sort of suggested materials for you to take a look at prior to sessions. But we're very much understanding that it is busy. People don't always have time to look at resources and do homework. So all the programs are designed for you to be able to kind of turn up to the sessions and get involved, no matter what you've done outside. Um, yeah.
That's
Hi, do you
great.
mind if
Just
I
Thank
just
you.
ask a quick question, please? My name's Robin Briley, West Midlands Anti-Slavery Network. Apologies, I can't find the button to put our hand up and things. Thanks very much for the presentation, Steve, as well. We got notification of this event via Lloyds Bank Foundation that provides support, financial, but also an amazing amount of other support. This came in via them, but on the email, I didn't see any reference to cost on there. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so we've had Lloyds Bank grantees come on the programs before. I think if you're applying through Lloyds Bank, if you just apply through the normal application process, there'll then be a different kind of onboarding process for anybody who's applying through Lloyds Bank, which will kind of remove the sort of payment and invoicing processes.
Ah, yes, okay. So it appears as though they'll get a number of places and they will choose who goes through after there is application.
Exactly, yeah. We'll sort of assess all of the Lloyds Bank applicants separately.
That's very helpful. Thanks very much, Steve.
Pleasure. Yeah, see your hand up there, Parminder.
Yeah, just coming back on that point. So with the Lloyds, because we've come through the Lloyds Bank as well. So do we? It's. I'll have to go back and check their email, but do they have a link to an application form that's separate, or is it we come to the Clone website? Because I know you've got on your website, you've got the the other Leadership Lighthouses Birmingham program, which
Yep.
is subsidised as well, I believe.
That's
So
right. Yep.
I'm a bit confused which one where we need to come to.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this is for the Emerging Leader Program, which does have the Lloyds Bank
Yeah,
support for their grantees.
it's emerging leader one. Okay.
Yeah, so that's just an application through our website on our application form.
Okay.
Um, if you are interested in any of the Leadership Lighthouses programs, we do have separate webinars for them.
Okay.
If you're based in Birmingham or Berkshire, and are part of the global majority, we do have webinars taking place for those. I
Okay.
wondered, Nina, if you're able to put in the dates for those webinars, for folks if they're interested.
Yeah,
Um,
just so give other people an opportunity as well. Thank you.
yeah, definitely. No worries. Lisa,
Hi, I think there are quite a few of us probably who've come via Lloyds Bank. Is there
it
a
seems so.
finite number of places for Lloyds, and can you tell us how many there are, or not?
I wasn't aware we were going to be having some Lloyd's folks joining today, so it's taken me a bit by surprise. But I'm really
Sorry.
glad you're here. I'm not sure from the Lloyd's Bank team how many places they're going to be funding yet, but that's something I'll certainly be in touch with them about.
Great, thank you.
Just seeing a few questions in the chat, which I'll address as well. Let's have a look here. Nina's got the application forms. Application forms are available, all ready to apply for exact dates for the retreats. Let me get that for you very quickly. It's the 9th and 10th of December. So the 9th and 10th of December are the dates for the retreat. Then we've got about the tutors on the program. So on the program, we have a program facilitator who we kind of bring in externally, and they kind of hold the program and kind of guide you through the process. They'll be delivering lots of the components. Their experience, all of them have kind of worked and been in and around the charity sector, so they're kind of embedded in that, and their work history is all in the charity sector. Done lots of facilitation of programs in the charity sector, mostly for us. Same with all of our coaches and our action learning facilitators as well. So I guess what's good about the facilitators is that they're coming in and they get it and they understand the context that a lot of you folks are coming from. So they'll kind of deliver their content and their workshops and pitch it for sort of charity sector leaders. And then Lisa had a question about payment upfront or staggered. Payment is upfront, but if you would like to discuss sort of payment options with us, we can kind of chat offline about that. If you'd like to give us a call or send us an email.
Cool.
And Nina's very helpfully there put in the link to our Leadership Lighthouses webinars. So if that's something that's of interest to you, you're based in Berkshire or Birmingham, definitely sign up to those and go along and get some more information. Any other questions before we close out? Perfect. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Thanks for Jamie for coming along and sharing your experience. It's very much appreciated. Any questions, get in touch with us, and we hope to see you all again soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.